Verse 9. All the people saw him walking and praising God, and they recognized that he was the one who used to sit and beg at the beautiful gate of the temple. So they were filled with awe and astonishment at what had happened to him. You missed it. Come on. Verse 10, they recognized that he was the one who used to sit and beg at the beautiful gate. Some of y'all have got that story. Some of y'all are recognized. If we're talking about how are you recognized, some of y'all are recognized like this man is recognized, that when people see you, they go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Isn't that the one who used to? What happened? Yes, I am the one who used to. But I put my faith in Jesus. And so no longer am I under this addiction. I was the one who used to. But no longer, because I have placed my faith and trust in Jesus, and he's brought healing to my marriage. So yes, we used to be here, but we are no longer there because of Christ. He was recognized by what he was no longer about because Jesus had healed him. Can you be recognized that way? Do people recognize that in you, that you are the one who used to be one way, but now because of the name and power of Jesus, you're walking and praising him, dancing through the temple. As we continue on, look at verse 11. While he was holding on to Peter and John, all the people, utterly astonished, ran toward them in what is called Solomon's Colonnade. When Peter saw this, he addressed the people, fellow Israelites, why are you amazed at this? Why do you stare at us as though we had made him walk by our own power or godliness? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of our ancestors, has glorified his servant Jesus, whom you handed over and denied before Pilate, though he had decided to release him. You denied the holy and righteous one and asked to have a murderer released to you. You killed the source of life, whom God raised from the dead. We are witnesses of this. By faith in his name has made this man strong, whom you see and know. So the faith that comes through Jesus has given him this perfect health in front of all of you. Peter sees the opportunity to talk with the crowd. When you look at the Gospels especially and Acts as well, there's a common progression that takes place. You have an event that leads to an explanation. You have a sign that leads to a sermon. You have a miracle that leads to the message. See, this man wasn't just healed for his own sake. This man was healed so that God might be glorified. This man was healed so that the table could be set for the sermon that Peter was about to preach. And what the main thing of his sermon is, you're missing the real miracle. He says, why are you looking at it like we had something to do with this? He says, we didn't heal him. Jesus did. And then he reminds them of who Jesus is to God and who Jesus has been to them. Notice this paradox as he walks through. He says, this is from the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of our ancestors. That's a Old Testament reference right there. He's drawing them in. And he says, God, the King of the universe, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has glorified his servant Jesus. Tying him back to Isaiah 53, the suffering servant who by his stripes we would be healed. He says, God glorified him. What'd you do? You handed him over to Pilate. He says, you denied the holy and righteous one and asked to have a murderer instead. You killed the source, the author of life, but God raised him from the dead. In other words, what Peter is saying is, you've had this view of Jesus, and you need to get your view in line of God's view of Jesus. Because where you have denied him over and over, and even sent him to the cross, God says he is the suffering servant. He is the holy and righteous one. He is the source of life. He is the promised Messiah. Peter's message is your view needs to be the view of God's. Bring your view in line with God's view of who Jesus is. He says, by faith in his name has made this man strong. He says, you're missing the real miracle.